Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Steve Ricardo. Today, very simple. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a long time, and people always ask, what was your inspiration? What started you playing guitars and everything else? I was like, great idea. Wife's like, you should do a video on this. I'm like, yes. So here we are. This is in no particular order, just 15 that I can think of in the top of my head of bands or riffs that really kind of got me going into playing heavy metal or even into guitar kind of thing. So I thought I'd share this with you because it's really cool, and it just kind of, when I'm jamming at home, I'll usually go through all of these tunes and just kind of hammer them out and just kind of enjoy playing them because it just takes me back to my youth of when I started playing guitar. It was really cool time in the 90s and the late 80s when I started. So there's a plethora of stuff that I picked up, either from my grandma getting me a Twisted Sister CD or just hearing something at a friend's house and kind of thing, and then kind of go from there. So let's get some riffs going, right? So yeah, some Sabbath, totally. Who does not love Sabbath, right? Just playing all that stuff, it just brings back so many memories. Paranoid, right? That song just, I just, it was always just something that it just grabbed you. And even the intro, right? It's just like, just so awesome. Loved it. ICDC was a big thing, right? What was another one? Just looking at my list, because Lisa's like, you got to have a list because you'll forget half the shit you're talking about. Ideal. Just that opening riff, when you play, when I heard it on the radio or just hear it anywhere in a CD or something, just some of my favorite tunes really do come from Dio when he was in Sabbath and stuff. Just made a huge impact on that kind of stuff. And since, wow, very cool stuff. So good building block for guitar players. And it's not hard to play, Is it? super simple stuff. Since we're on the topic of British, right? Right? Maiden. It's just, I mean, you can go. Anyway, so 2 minutes to midnight when I heard that song, I was at my buddy's place and he's like, "Oh, dude, check out this thing, it's Maiden." And he played that. I was like, I had to learn that. So I actually started learning it on bass because it was just simple. I mean, Harris was just an amazing bass player. So from there, I just kind of started, playing both bass and guitar at the same time, and then learning both. And from there, once I kind of learned out, I transferred to guitar, and it was just great. Right, absolutely. Slayer was a big influence. When I heard Slayer, I was like, "This is awesome!" Right. Oops, but yeah, just that riff, evil with the drums coming in and everything else. Anyway, it's been a while since I'm doing this, right? So Slayer was a quintessential thing that when it came out, it was like, and the drums with Lombardo started, and it was just this epic wall of hell. If you were at a house party, and growing up, we did a lot of house party songs, and it was like, yeah, play some Slayer. And as soon as they heard that riff, it didn't matter if you played it right or wrong, or just the fact that you knew how to play even a couple notes of it. Everybody in the house would be like, "This is awesome," right? So. Dead Skin Mask, right? Another one, Dead Skin Mask. Just that run of just notes. Slayer was a quintessential opening for just those single notes and getting everything the way they were doing it, because it just had this eerie ring. Epic. If you're just starting out playing guitar, learn that, and it still gives you goosebumps. Yeah, I know. COC, when this whole thing came out with Courage and Conformity and Vote with a Bullet and all that stuff, and I really got hooked into to Pepper Keenan, right? And it was really cool. One of my favorite riffs from that was Clean My Ruins. It's just simple, right? But when you get if you get like an SG or something, or an orange amp, and you play that. Help me, Jesus, help me clean my wounds, right? Awesome song. Yeah, COC was a big contribution to the way he wrote stuff, and plus he sang it, so you had to be kind of both a really good guitar player and a really good singer. So when I did stuff like that, it helped you learn how to separate the mind from the hand, so you can kind of go your own way, right? Very awesome to do stuff like that. Neon Nights from Black Sabbath, that was something that was also very, very cool to do. What can I say more? I mean, again, back to Dio, right? Just a quintessential. Another just classic riffing. Again, everything back in the day, you were able to hum, you know, or everything was hummable. It had riffs that just stayed in your mind as you learned them and as you played them, and as you saw them live or even in radio. You put on any of these classic songs back in the day, you just hit play, even the first note, like, oh, it's Iron Man, right? Stuff like that. So, always cool to do. Metallica, right? So Metallica, we're at number 8. So Metallica, Blackened. Wow, down picking. We all spent, I think, most of our teens either playing fast or trying to play fast, and I think some of our exercises were either, you know, jerking off or playing fast, right? One of the two. So let's see if I can do this. Not the same if you alternate. You got to go the down. The down's the biggest thing. So I mean, yeah, Blackened. Just the opening riff and then even cutting all the way down to the verse was just something that was just like, yeah. Wow. Just James Hetfield, the godfather of down picking, was a big influence on all of us, right? So, yeah. All right, so Motorhead. Funny you didn't see the blooper before this. So trying to remember how to play Ace of Spades. It's been a while. But again, one of the quintessential songs that kind of got me to start playing guitar. The incredible bass line that would come up. Right, and then the bends, you can't forget the bends, right? So I thought that first part to come in. But again, one of those tunes you need to, you know, listen to get the whole understanding of how everything went. So I mean, just did a video with the band that I was in a while ago. We did a cover of it. We kind of sped up a bit. It was really cool. Right, Symphony of Destruction. When Megadeth released that album, it was just Countdown to Extinction. It was just like, wow. And watching the biography and how they wrote it and everything else. So this comes in at number 10. Again, no random order, Symphony of Destruction, you know. It's, again, one of those riffs that just, you know, just slam to the side of the head. Get the album, learn the fucking stuff, and listen to it for all you guys that are old school and stuff. There's a lot of the new age people haven't heard of this stuff yet, right? So go out and listen to it on, I guess, Spotify. Check out some of this stuff. I mean, Iron Man. Iron Man. What else can you say? It's just that powerhouse of just down, 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 huge, big, in-your-face, monster riffs from Tony Iommi. You can't go wrong with that. PANAMA Van Halen, which was something that I was really cool when I first heard it, and it had that sense of, yeah, it wasn't heavy metal, but at that time when it came out, I was like, wow, it's Eddie Van Halen, right? So learn it because it's fun and listen to it and whatever. We're not like when I'm not doing it proficiently enough to where I'm not doing it to the fucking note, right? I'm human. I'm enjoying playing half this stuff growing up. So even if I learned a portion of it, it gave me the fuel to come up with originals and start writing originals. Not that I want to play covers my entire life. So that was my goal. What are my influences? What am I trying to learn? Where am I going with all of this? So once I've learned these songs, and then you kind of adapted from it, and you were able to write your own stuff and branch out from this. This is your building block that will set you to who you are, all these songs. For me, this is my building block. This is my sort of, DNA of what I listen to become the player that I do today. And all this stuff sets you apart in a certain way, right? Rock You Like a Hurricane, right? Scorpions. Right? These are all things that were just right? It was powerful. It was in your face. It was loud. It was rock and roll, right? Heavy metal version of it, and just it's everything that became part of our DNA as a culture that we listened to back in the day. This was our music. Much like today, you've got like Chemical Romance and Slipknot and everything else. This was my time. This was our genre and our generation of learning this stuff. So, and of course, let's go with a little bit of Poison, Again, Cease to Veil, right? Bret Michaels, Cease to Veil, Bobby Dahl, and Ricky Rocket. It was Poison. So when glam came out, it was still, to me, I was like, oh, this is cool, because it was guitar-driven, energetic, and just in-your-face party music. So we played parties. Hey, can you play some Poison? Of course you can, right? The quintessential starting building block of who we are. And then it just kind of evolved from there over the years and learning different stuff and learning to pick up different ideas and just evolving as a guitar player, right? So those are my top songs. So I probably missed one or two, but yeah, I mean, this was it. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it gives you guys some inspiration to find some other music, maybe go back to the 90s and the 80s and pick up some good shit, right? So I've been Steve. You have been amazing. Thanks for sitting down patiently and watching these videos. So rocking like a hurricane. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Cheers.